Hi, this is Bill Koenig for Straight Circle Martial Arts, and this is 10 reasons punches don't work. Number 10, your arm's just too straight. So if he's coming in, right, a lot of people when they punch to full extension before they hit. When you hit somebody, if you hit them here, that's the end of your punch, right? And you've only gone in like this far, there's nothing on it. So what people do is they compensate and they try and lean, right? So when he does that and he leans, right, obviously that's not so good for him. When you hit somebody, you want to hit them right, where this curve is on the arm, kind of, because you want to be able to extend through them. If I want to hit him, I want to go through him with the punch. So make sure when you hit that you've left yourself enough room to actually extend. Otherwise, there's nothing on your punch, and it'll be very weak. Number 9, we twist too early. A lot of styles, right? I was always taught this. We all know that twist, and most of us do it wrong. That twist is utterly useless for most people, because what they do is we're going back to full extension again, as they practice in the air, and they throw this punch, and they twist and they hit them. Well, what good is that? You're at full extension, the twist doesn't do anything. What this twist is actually meant to do is go into the body and tear on things, right? So when you hit them, you want to twist and twist. It's called drilling, right? So when you hit him, you want to make sure that you hit, go in, and then twist. You don't twist and then hit. It really has no value if you do it that way. Number 8, big hip. A lot of styles teach big hip swings, right? And that's okay if you have a lot of time. So if he's here, right, and he's coming from here, and he's on a walk, and I have time to make that and get into alignment, that's great. If he's coming from here, watch what happens. If he's coming from here, watch what happens, right? Every time he gets closer, that big hip swing is late, and eventually I don't get any power on it. It works again if the guy's a real long ways away, but doesn't work so good if he's close. When you actually hit someone, like you have to just short, right? There shouldn't be much of a twist on this. I mean, beginners do that. As you get better, it should just be a little click, and that's the end of it. Number 7, the clock. Most people learn techniques, they get a visual clock, right? And so we learn 1, then 2, then 3. And then we learn 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, etc. And we know parts of this circle. The reality is you should be able to hit every part of this circle. Everything. There shouldn't be a space in here you should miss. Because it's like trying to fit something into a hole that doesn't fit. Sometimes that guy attacks you, and you're trying to do the angle you learned, but that's not open. So you have to adjust to go to an angle that fits, but if you don't know those angles, you don't practice them, you won't be able to hit it. So when you're working, make sure you don't just practice the repetitive angles over and over again. Go out of your way to try and find new angles and directions and spots in that clock that you can hit. Number 6, energy goes into the ground. Traditionally, what are we taught, right? You step, and then you punch. Well, when you do that, your energy goes into the floor, right? And then you have to re-establish your energy and punch again. So if he comes in, and I go like this, 1, and then 2, which makes it 2 steps. It's a lot of work. If you were going to make this better, you would try and make it 1 step. So if I'm like this, right, I shift my weight and my hand together, right? Boom, so it's 1 motion and it doesn't go into the floor. Or if I really wanted to make it good, I would just do it on the step and I wouldn't put my foot down, and all the energy would go into him anyways. So this is a beginner's move, but think about it, right? You throw energy down, then you're trying to bring it back, and then you're trying to throw it in. It's just more efficient to go in, and that's the end of it. So be careful with your feet. Number 5, bad wrist. I can't tell you how many people, because they don't know the angles, when I see them try and force an angle that they don't know, they hit with a bad wrist. What happens a lot of times is, right, if they hit square exactly how they know, that wrist will line up. Wrist should be straight. But when they panic and they try and do this, you'll see that wrist go like that. I've seen this countless times with people, guys who are really good. You know, that guy will come in, they'll try and go low and they'll do that wrist. You hit someone like that, you're just asking to break it. You have to know how to rotate to where, if he comes in, right, like if I'm gonna make this punch, I don't go like this. I rotate it so the wrist is straight. I rotate it so the wrist is straight. Every time I place this, this should be like this. It should never be like this. It should never be like this. You're gonna get hurt. Number 4, too tense. People feel tension to strength because we lift, right? And we think tension is strength. It's not. Tension is tension. If you tense, your body stops. So when he comes to me, I go to throw and I tense up as hard as I can, boom, I stop all those muscles and that punch stops short. It goes in a little bit, but it doesn't go in nearly as much as it could. If I relax, right, I can just blow through it. You know, imagine like a fastball from a pitcher. Imagine if this guy did this. Like imagine how far that ball will go. I give it 2 feet before it rolls away. When they throw a pitch, right, everything just whips through it. There's that on the end of it. Your punches should be the same way. So really pay attention. That tension is not helping you. Relax. Just enough tension so you don't hurt yourself. It should be more like a whip than a bat, right? Number 3, gloves and wraps. A lot of people hit bags, they wear big gloves, right? Well, if he comes in and I have a glove, imagine that I have a glove that's this thick and I practice hitting that distance over and over and over and over again. The day I take that glove off and I go to throw it, my body is going to miss because it's expecting this, and we've done it over and over again, and now your brain doesn't know how to adapt to the fact that this isn't here anymore. Odds are you're going to hurt yourself doing that. Also the same thing with gloves and wraps, right? Wraps, people wrap so they don't buckle the wrist. And that's great, but the minute you take it off, if you're dependent on that and you hit something, you're probably going to roll that thing. If you're going to do this for self-defense, you really need to learn to punch bare hand and with a good wrist. No wrist straps. You do that, you're asking to get hurt. So practice them solid, practice them correctly, bare hands. Number 2 is the knee buckle. It's a beginner thing. I don't know why people do it. Almost every single person I've ever seen training does it when they first come in. But if you're practicing by yourself, you may not even know you do it, so be conscious of it. It's really strange. What'll happen is they'll people punch the bag, and this knee right here will go like this. Like it'll go backwards. I've seen countless people do that. It's a weird thing we do, but keep your eye on it. Number 1, you're going to hurt yourself. Number 2, the energy's going the wrong way. It's like a baseball bat again, right? Imagine if this guy took this swing and he swung and he went like this. Imagine where that ball would go. The knees have to go into it, right? The knees have to go into your punch. So be careful of it. Try not to buckle backwards. Number 1, energy is the wrong way. Under stress, in movement, what happens a lot of times is in our head we want to punch the right way, but our bodies do something else. So he's coming to me, and I go like this, and I step and I hit him, but my energy's going that way. Or, you know, I try and evade and circle, and I hit him like this, but my energy's going that way. When you hit somebody, no matter what direction it's on, if I move this way, I have to bring the energy back to him. If I move this way, the energy has to go back to him. Every time I shift, every direction I go, energy has to go to him. If I go away, it's not going to have anything on it, and it's going to be a very weak punch. This has been Bill Koenig for Straight Circle Martial Arts. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.